Let's cross the aisle. With us now, Congressman Eric Sorensen, a Democrat who represents the Quad Cities and a big slice of Western Illinois. Okay, Congressman, you're outnumbered here today, so I'm going to give you the chance to sound off on whatever you want from either of the two Republicans you just heard. The floor is yours, sir.
Well, look, I mean, from the congressman, there was so much spin there, I feel dizzy. When we talk about the filibuster is needed in the Senate because this is what brings people to the table. This is what causes Republicans and Democrats to come together to solve the problems for the American people. What we're seeing right now is the fact that Republicans don't want to come to the table. You know, what happened to the president being the author of the book, The Art of the Deal? Where is the deal? You know, he's so proud and rightly so, to be able to look at peace in the Middle East, to find solutions in Ukraine and Russia, right? But where is the president today? Where is the leader of the Republican Party? Where's the art of the deal? We need to work together to lower the costs of health care for the American people. But the Republicans say it's our way or the highway. Well, every day that the shutdown goes on, more people are going to be hurt.
I just heard Senator Marshall sit right here in this very room and say that he's working. They're working on it. They're offering stuff. They're trying to engage here. Both the Speaker and the Minority Leader in the House have both previously rejected a one-year extension of Obamacare subsidies. Now, that's for obviously very different reasons. Now, the Schumer package is not going to make it through. We know that. But a one-year extension, which is at its heart, may survive in some form and come back across to you guys. Is that a good enough trade to you to vote to reopen the government?
Well, look, I mean, it is that negotiation. So now how will the Republicans be able to come back and say, all right, this is what we're going to do to prevent health care from rising? Look, you know, I got a message from Molly here in Moline, Illinois, and she works for a small mom and pop. Her health insurance is going to double. And she's in her 50s. And she said, you know what, Eric, I'm not going to be able to be insured for next year. Who's going to help out Molly? Who's going to help out our farmers who... Argentina gets a bailout, but our farmers are small business people. They have to go and buy their insurance as well. It is going to double for them. Who's helping them? We need solutions. We need Republicans to come to the table with Democrats so that we can figure this out. You know, let's get into next year and figure out what is the plan to prop it up so hardworking people aren't left in the cold.
Okay, but there are real consequences in the meantime. I take your point, but this is about trade-offs, that what's happening to SNAP, what's happening for air travel, what's happening to the economy, what's happening to federal workers. There is some break point here, right?
I mean, look, what we're seeing right now is the Trump administration is making it worse, right? You know, they're making it harder on the American people when we should be able to fund SNAP. You know, I just look at the USDA's website. Earlier in October, it said that they would fully fund SNAP in November, and then that web page just mysteriously disappeared. And now you have the Trump administration saying, we don't have a way to pay for SNAP. Yes, you do. Some states are now getting SNAP to 100%. That needs to happen because right now the Trump administration is breaking the law. Let's get back to work, open the government so that the American people aren't needlessly hurt coming up toward Thanksgiving and the holidays.
Congressman, we're almost out of time, but I've been through your district and it is soybean central. You are the soybean capital of the world. While we wait for a Supreme Court decision, the president is trying to soften some of the consequences of the trade war with China, particularly to lift Chinese curbs on U.S. soybeans. Are you seeing any benefits out there? Is this getting better?
Right. So, look, I mean, we need to do everything. We need to build those relationships. We need to open markets. Our farmers here, you know, they were so slighted when Trump went down to Argentina and bailed him out without having good policy. They don't want a bailout here, but they want good policy. And they want to make sure that the soybeans that we are so good at growing in Western Illinois have a market. And so I'm happy that tomorrow in Tazewell County, I'm going to be out on a soybean field, making sure that we're talking with farmers to get those beans out, and so that they're not worth a hill of beans, that they're worth a lot on the open market around the world. Do you see what I did there?
You couldn't resist. Okay, America, if you knew that the world's largest replica of our solar system was scattered over 6,000 square miles in and around Peoria, Illinois, you would know him already. But if you don't, there he is, Congressman Eric Sorensen. We thank you.